Hey guys, such an interesting video on Wild Rift. So we're back with a Corki supplementary guide. Now, I'm not sure if we've done one updated complete guide recently. I think I did it in patch 3.1, I believe, and that one involved using the Mana Mune. So now, honestly, I am still debating whether the Mana Mune build is better or the full crit. Technically, this is not full crit; it's 75% crit. It could be full crit if you want it to be, but I was wondering if the Manamune build was better or the non-Manamune build was better, because the main issue with the Manamune build is that you either would have to sacrifice your GA or you would have to sacrifice your Void Staff, or you have to sacrifice one of your crit items because you had to add in an extra Manamune. Whereas with this build, you don't have to sacrifice any of those. You can go for triple crit item, Void Staff, GA, and when your GA is down, you could switch to another crit item, or, we'll go through that later, but you wouldn't have to have Manamune take up a slot. But the issue with this build is the fact that you always run out of mana because you don't actually have the Manamune. Now, the Mana Flow Band and the Essence Reaver Mana Siphon passive does help with that quite a bit. However, the fact of the matter still remains that even when you have the Manamune, your mana is already not the best. So imagine without it, it's gonna be horrible. So I still am not sure which one I prefer. Now, what I will say is that definitely this build does more damage than the Manamune, build overall. Now, I say that overall because this takes into account the Void Staff for dealing with tanks. It takes into account triple crit items for both your auto attacks, doing extra damage with the Charge Blade, as well as having the Essence Reaver there to boost up your damage from your rockets and your Phosphorus Bomb. Of course, the on-hit of the Manamune also does that, but overall, of course, more crit is more damage. So this build does give you more damage, but you will face mana problems. You will see later on in the gameplay. So anyways, let's get into the actual items, runes, and spells. So the first item we have is Essence Reaver. Now, honestly, Essence Reaver, I've been having like a love-hate relationship with Essence Reaver. Now, there are times like now when I think Essence Reaver is really good, but there are other times I'm just thinking like, man, Essence Reaver is way too expensive for what it does, and like Storm Razor is just better. But now at this current point in time, I'm of the thought that Essence Reaver is still better than Storm Razor when it comes to Corki. Because really, Corki is not really an auto attacker. Like having attack speed from Storm Razor doesn't really help you all that much. Of course, the AD and the crit, and even the passive, I guess, for the one auto attack is really good. But really, the only reason why Storm Razor is even being considered to be built on Corki is just because that item is just broken for like ADCs at the moment. If that item was not broken, Essence Reaver would definitely be the default build for Corki. So of course, with the Essence Reaver, you get the Mana Siphon passive, which helps you with your mana issues. You also get the increased damage on your abilities, which scales with your crit, which of course when you reach late game will deal insane damage when you hit like triple crit item, which we'll see in the gameplay later. So it gives you the ability haste that you want, gives you the crit that you want, gives you the about the same AD as the as the Storm Razor. Honestly, so I think at the current moment I do prefer the Essence Reaver. Then of course we then go into the IE, of course for more crit, more attack damage, as well as more crit damage. Now of course we do that because getting an earlier Slurry Charge Blade doesn't really help, because you need to have a higher crit chance to really make Slurry Charge Blade work. So for the boots, you go for Ionian Boots of Lucidity if you don't need defensive boots, and of course you go into the Stasis, which is really necessary when you go in with your package and find yourself out of position. And then after that, you would go for, of course, the Slurry Charge Blade, which, of course, you're able to proc very often because of the fact that you can spam your ultimate and get pretty much unlimited stacks with all 4 of your abilities. And, of course, this will help you with your auto attack damage as well. Now, I know I said that Corki isn't an auto attacker, but Slurry Charge Blade is just way too good on Corki to not take it, just because of how many times you can proc Slurry Charge Blade compared to a regular champion because of your 6-stack ultimate. And then after you get the Void Staff, of course, because Corki deals 80% magic damage, so you want to get that Void Staff to, of course, increase your magic, not your magic damage, but more of your magic penetration against tanks. And finally, you top it off with the GA. So GA, of course, is for the revive. You're going to find yourself dying not very often, but you're going to find yourself in a lot more dangerous positions than most normal carries because of the fact you have to package in and put your body in danger, basically. And you can go for GA earlier as well if you are fed and you have a shutdown. For the runes, as I mentioned in my complete guide, I did test Airy a lot, and I even tested Kraken Slayer, but they don't really work. Conqueror is still the way to go, simply because he doesn't have a better rune to take. Of course, for the domination rune, you go for Triumph, because Hunter Vampirism doesn't actually help you at all, because it will give you I think it'll give you physical vamp, but you want magic vamp because you do 80% magic damage, so it doesn't work. And yeah, so you go for the Triumph. And then for the Resolve rune, you generally go for Nullifying Orb, of course, for early game trades, late game shields. And for the Inspiration rune, you have to go for Mana Flow Ban, because of course you have mana issues, and you can't really go for Hunter Vampirism with this build, because that's a little bit too greedy. You do need the Mana Flow Ban. For the spells, you go for Exhaust and Flash as usual. Nothing has really changed there. And finally, another small point for discussion is, if your GA is down, you pretty much have two options you can go for mainly. Actually, you have more than two options, but the two main options I would consider is, number one, going for the Hextech Gunblade, because that gives you both physical and magical vamp. And since Corki does mix damage, he's going to benefit from both the physical and the magical vamp from the Hextech Gunblade. And I will actually go for that in this video. You guys will see a bit later on. But the other option you have is actually going for technically you have a lot of other options. You could go for the Storm Razor itself, as we mentioned, it's a broken item. You could go for what I prefer, which is the Rapid Fire Cannon, because sometimes getting that long range 1 auto attack actually matters when you are at full build 100% crit with the Void Staff. That one auto attack could do like half the health of a carry or something like that, so I do like the Rapid Fire Cannon personally. But with all that out of the way, let's actually jump straight into the gameplay itself. Okay, so here we have the Corki gameplay for this new build. Now this build isn't actually new at all. This was the pretty much default Corki build when the Essence Reaver first came out, in like patch 2.4, which at this point is like more than a year ago now. But this build has completely fallen off, just simply due to the fact that the Essence Reaver as an item is pretty bad at the moment. I say it's bad, it's really because it used to be completely busted, but they decided to nerf it to the ground, and they've buffed it like just by a little bit on a couple aspects. I think it got like 5 extra AD and like 5 extra ability haste over time, but those stats really don't matter, and they don't make up enough for the nerfs that it got in terms of the gold cost. Like the gold cost went up twice. It got double nerfed way back when, like I think like a year ago now, which is why Essence Reaver isn't that good anymore. And also it doesn't have the Spellblade passive like it does in Elite PC. It just increases your spell damage, but doesn't actually give you that on-hit Spellblade proc like in Elite PC. So it really isn't that good of an item at the moment. Anyways, enough talking about the Essence Reaver. We are going to build it whatever the case is. So here you guys can see Rakan pretty much whiffs his engage in lane, gets bubbled by the Nami, and gets pretty much just destroyed by me. I flash forward for the first blood. I exhaust the Tristana so that her bomb doesn't do so much damage. Making sure to time my exhaust, of course, with the bomb explosion there. So here I hit level 3, but of course we can't really kill Tristana unless, of course, she walks up like that. And then she walks up like that again, allows me to pretty much pick up a free kill. I really don't have any idea what she was thinking there. Kind of a really int play by her. The Rakan one was forgivable because he was trying to make something happen with it engage, but the Tristana one, honestly, I don't know why she turned back like twice. But hey, you know, we'll take any free kill we can get. Now, another kind of drawback of going for the Essence Reaver build is the fact that you don't get the BF sword. Now, another reason why Storm Razor is so OP is the fact that it builds out of the BF sword. That's really the buff that made Storm Razor really good. Because going for something like this, like going for Caulfield's Warhammer and going for like Cloak, really doesn't give you very much good stats. Now, last time it didn't matter because it was OP, but now it actually matters. So here we caught Tristana out of position. We managed to half health her. She has her bomb on us, flashes away, but gets hit by Lee Sin Q, and Lee Sin goes in, finishes off the kill, and a whole huge skirmish starts breaking out. Lux is on the way over. Rakan picks up the double onto the Lee Sin, tries to go for Nami, but finds himself getting chunked by me. Nami ends up picking up the kill onto the Rakan, and overall it is pretty much a even trade on both ends. And yeah, so here In the meanwhile, a massive wave has accrued, and I'm just getting that whole huge wave's worth of gold. So as you guys can see, I have like I think 2 kills, 1 assist now, and like a lot of gold from minion waves. So of course, that's what you want to see as an ADC. Actually, I have 2 assists, so 2, 0, and 2 at the moment. 3k gold in the pocket. By far the most in the game by a pretty large margin, of course with those with the 4k P. So of course we're going to be doing we are not going to be doing, but we are doing pretty well at the very beginning of the game. The faster you can reach the Essence Reaver, the better, because as I said, the components you have for the Essence Reaver are, I wouldn't say they're useless, but they really aren't very good because you don't have the BF sword for the injection of AD. So anyways, of course, alright, before we talk about that, we're gonna take a look at what's happening here. We have the Rakan engage coming in onto the Nami. Nami, of course, is really low, but I'm really fed now, so I'm kind of chunking them out with just like my rockets and my phosphorus bomb. Of course, one of the best strengths of Corki is gonna be his poke. With his Q and his R, he does a lot of poke damage, which is really good. Of course, here I'm going aggressive. I think I can get the kill onto the Rakan, and I do, but I underestimate Tristana's damage a little bit, and I do get just popped by her. Unfortunately for me, Nami is able to trade onto Tristana, so overall it is gonna be a 2 for 1. Of course, I did give shutdown over to Tristana, which isn't too good, but you know, it is what it is. We got the Essence Reaver. Now here you see Lee Sin Gaming just one comboing the Lux 100 to 0. Yeah, so wouldn't feels bad to be that Lux, but yeah, give him the thumbs up for his efforts. But yeah, in case you guys didn't know, obviously my team has no AP at the moment. We have Lee Sin in the jungle, we have Nami, who doesn't really deal too much damage, we have Garen and Zed, who's obviously both AD as well, in top and mid lane. So we do need some AP. So basically your best AP option choices are like Karma, Ziggs, and Corki. Now here I don't know what Tristana is doing. She tries to fight me 1v1, but just because she got the kill just now because I was focusing on Rakan doesn't mean that she can actually fight me, because obviously I am 3-1 and 3. Now I'm 4-1 and 3 after that donation from her. And yeah, she simply cannot fight me. So anyways, here Dragon is up, so we're going to take the package. Now if you guys notice, of course, just now when I walked into the lane and killed Tristana, the package was up, but I didn't actually collect it. Because you only want to collect package when you're going for objectives pretty much like 90% of the time, because that's where your package is going to have the biggest impact. Using it to like get a kill in lane is pretty much a waste of the package. You want to use it to help your team secure the objectives. So here, just gonna quickly get bot lane priority. Of course, really hard for them to contest, and since no one is really at the dragon, yeah, I'm just gonna stick around and pick up a plate. Now I'm playing this aggressively because I have the package to actually package out in case Rakan goes in for an engage or anything like that, which doesn't actually happen. But normally I wouldn't really play that aggressive, and like you know, when both enemies are there. Now here pretty much Lux goes for like a one-shot kind of combo. Here I package out, and Rakan pretty much engages onto my package, eats all of the package damage, and pretty much just dies like from mostly the package damage. But he did force me to pretty much, I wouldn't say waste, but he did force me to use the package, so I don't have that anymore. Zed flashes in to go for the engage. Doesn't really quite work out. Lee Sin goes in as well. Doesn't quite work out either. So here I'm just trying to poke out the enemies with my ult charges as well as with my Qs, and I am doing a pretty decent amount of damage with those missile barrages and phosphorus bombs. So here I'm just gonna clear out the minion wave again, and it looks like there is gonna be a fight at the dragon again, but I see Lee Sin recalling, so basically I'm gonna just recall as well, because even if the enemy team starts the dragon right now, nothing much I can really do to stop them. Now we do have the 2 components for our what's it called, the Infinity Edge now, so that's gonna be really good for us. We're almost there to the Infinity Edge. Of course, that's gonna be another huge power spike. Now Lee Sin goes top for some reason, so I was a little bit like, what is he doing? Because obviously the enemy team is on the dragon right now. Now Lee Sin starts channeling recall and actually starts running all the way here. Now honestly, I thought that the dragon would have been finished by the enemy team way before the Lee Sin got here, but I don't know why the enemy team is doing the dragon so slowly. Now in the meantime, I'm dodging the Lux damage, and I'm just using my rockets and my Qs to poke them out, and Lee Sin actually manages to fly in for the steal right in the nick of time. He picks up the kill on Graves, I pick up a kill onto a double kill actually onto the Lux as well as the Rakan, and yeah, so that's pretty amazing. It somehow managed to turn out the way that we wanted it to. Now of course we did suffer 2 deaths as well. Now, one of those was a solo kill on the Garen at top lane by the Mundo. But hey, you know, trading two kills for 3 kills in a dragon is a trade I take any day of the week. So we aren't gonna complain at all. And as well as that, we do have the pressure to go for the bot lane tower take, which is exactly what we're going to do. Tristana does show up, but there's nothing she can do to defend the tower. So we do end up picking up that tower, and then we're also going to clear the wave, and then of course we're going to just back. So that should give us enough gold to pick up the IE at this point. Which, there we go, we do manage to do. Now here I pick up the Iron Boots of Lucidity. Of course for the ability haste, and here the only reason I pick up the package here when there's no objective is obviously there's a huge fight going on in the topside jungle. Here you can see the fight. Here I package to cut off the enemy team. Now unfortunately the person I cut off is the Mundo, but as you guys can see, that's pretty much the idea of the package. You use the package to separate the enemy team, and you can get a pick. So in this case, the pick that we got was Mundo. Now obviously he isn't the best target because he's the tank, but hey, you know, a pick is a pick, and I obviously don't want to pack it straight into the backline when I don't really have my stasis. I do have my flash, but I don't want to, you know, just do something stupidly reckless here. So here we see Tristana trying to take down the bot lane tower, which she does. Here I thought she was gonna actually walk back, which is why I shot my phosphorus bomb behind her, but she pretty much just stayed there for an extra 1 second, then she jumped out of the way. So I end up not connecting with the phosphorus bomb. Either way, Zed tries to get in on the action as well, but Tristana does actually manage to escape scot-free. Not really scot-free, she did have to blow her flash there, but either way, she does manage to actually escape. So here, of course, I'm really fast. I'm just going to quickly pick up the red buff. Now, honestly, if I could get the blue buff, that would be even better, because my mana problems are really, really bad. So, honestly, on Corki, it's a lot more important to get blue buff than to get red buff. But hey, you know, I'll take whatever buff is available to me. So here, I pick up the stasis, and also start building towards, of course, the Solari Charge Blade with the cloak. And yeah, so here Lux again manages to get a quick catch. Rakan tries to go in with the one-shot combo. He gets one-shot instead by me. As you guys can see, I have huge damage at this point. Just with 2 items, I get hit by the Lux Binding. Not the best look in the world, but fortunately she already used her ult, so she can't one-shot me. The Lux, AP Lux damage is absolutely insane. Pretty much if you get hit by her root when she gets like I think like 2 or 3 items, pretty much you're just done for as a carry. So really you gotta look out for the Lux the entire game, especially because it's a Lux mid and not a Lux support. So she has a lot more income than the Lux support. So we gotta be really, really cautious with that. Now of course in the downtime, as we always do, we're gonna be just farming up the jungle, really fast jungle clear, of course, since we are really, really fed. And yeah. So nothing too much to do here. I'm just going to quickly pick up the fruit because I'm, of course, like half HP, half mana. I see a fight kind of happening at the mid lane. I'm just going to rotate over and see if there's anything I can do about it. Now, Rift Herald, in the meantime, being channeled at the top lane by the Lee Sin to take the top lane tower, while the entire enemy team, not entire, but most of the enemy team is distracted in the mid lane. Now, as you guys can see, I'm not doing nearly enough damage to the Mundo because I don't have any grievous wounds in my build, of course, but I'm going to rely on my team to provide the grievous wounds, which they do eventually all get grievous wounds. Aside from me. So here I'm just gonna quickly just clear out the wave. Now a small thing to note is that you can actually go for like the Executioner's Calling and sell it later on if you really need it, which I do not opt to do in this game, but I'm just saying that that is something that you could and should do, just that in this case my team all has grievous wounds, so I don't really end up wasting the 800 gold to do that. Alright, so here again just gonna clear out the bot lane. And another wave comes in, so we're just going to clear that too. Right, and now we have enough for Solari Charge Blade, I believe. So now we're going to just quickly pick up the Solari Charge Blade. And yeah, so we're in 10, 1, and 4 now. Really, really fat. 12k gold. We have like double the goal of like Garen and Nami. Double the goal of Rakan. Double the goal of Lux even. I have no idea why Lux is one-shotting me when I have double her goal. But I guess that's just how like broken Lux damage is. So anyways, I have the package up. The dragon is spawning. There's already a huge fight going on. Tristana has already picked up 2 kills. And here I'm trying to go in with the package, trying to cut off the Mundo like what we did in the last time, and it works yet again. Unfortunately, this time I get hit by the Lux Binding. I stasis to prevent myself from getting one-shot by her. Now, I honestly don't know if that would have killed me. I semi-suspect that would have one-shot me. So, thankfully, I got the stasis, and I am able to actually the stasis there. Now, I know Rakan is in this bush. I don't know why he didn't engage on me when I was standing there trying to ward for like 1 extra second than what I needed to. But either way, I managed to Valk forward and kill him. Now here I'm trying to take the red buff, but Lee Sin takes it already, so I end up walking around the wall for no good reason, and now the dragon is up. So I don't really know why the enemy team didn't do the dragon just now. Like, it looked like Rakan was waiting there for someone to try to check the dragon, and his team was doing the dragon, but I don't know why the enemy team didn't do the dragon. Pretty much they end up giving us a free dragon for no good reason in my opinion, so I don't quite know what was happening here. But either way, we do pick up the dragon. Again, not gonna complain about it. I'm just gonna pick up the raptors as well. We see Garen and Mundo like in a 1v1 between the two tanks. Of course, that kind of fight is not really gonna lead to much unless it lasts for like the next like 30 seconds or so. So here, I really want to back to pick up some items, but you know, we gotta get the mid lane priority first. You guys can see that my auto attacks do a really decent amount of damage with the slow recharge blade. Here Rakan manages to engage on me with his full combo and his electrocute. This is of course AP Rakan, but unfortunately he has no follow up, and he also doesn't have enough damage, nearly enough damage to burst me. Only manages to do about half my health, which is pretty decent of an amount. And in this match, I'm 11-1-5, so I'm trying to rush the GA here. You guys can see I have picked up the BF sword and the cloth armor because I have a huge shutdown at this point. The last time I died was when I had 3 kills. I have an 8 kill shutdown at this point, so I really want to quickly complete my GA to prevent myself from giving over that shutdown to the enemy team. And at this point in time, only really the Mundo is building magic resist at the moment, so I don't quite feel the need to build the void staff. Not build, but rush the void staff. I think getting the GA is a lot more important than getting the void staff. So here, again, just gonna quickly clear out the wave. Zed manages to push all the way into the inhibitor, which does provide the distraction for us to actually quickly take down this tower. Now, unfortunately for us, he barely does not get the inhibitor, and he ends up dying eventually. So maybe he should just commit it for the inhibitor. Now here you guys can see Mundo is not taking a whole lot of damage. He has the Gargoyles, he has the ult, and we do have the Grievous Wounds on him, but it doesn't even look like it. So here I'm flashing out. The mistake I made there was turning back 1 step to auto attack. I should have just kept running. So here I ended up dying to the Graves ultimate. Now I had my stasis, but I didn't want to use it there. Not because I was greedy, but because I thought that, you know, if I use stasis there, the enemy could time the time that it took for me to get out of my stasis, they could easily kill me. So I didn't want to just waste the stasis and still die. I wanted to walk a couple more steps back before I use stasis, or at the point I would already have been safe. But either way, I end up giving the shutdown to the enemy team before I can complete my GA, so it kind of defeats the purpose. But at this point, we already have like 2 components of the GA, and we actually complete our GA at this point just right after we die, which is really, really unfortunate that we died there. If not, the GA would have come in a lot more handy. Now, of course, it's still gonna be useful to not die, but yeah, so that kind of just sucks for me. So here there's a huge wave in top. No one is even moving to clear it, so I'm gonna have to go over, clear that wave in top. Of course, I don't really mind, as the auto target goes for the minion that already died. So here, I'm spotted by the plant. In the meantime, I'm just gonna take the Gromp and also the blue buff. Now, of course, as I say, blue buff is way more important to take. As you guys can see, just gonna quickly pick up the blue buff. You guys can see the damage. We do like over 500 damage with 1 auto attack, and with the what's that called, the ultimate, it does like, I think like 700 plus 800 damage or so. Yeah, so here Garen has TP'd to where the Zed is. They're trying to push down the inhibitor, trying to force it down, but it doesn't really work because there's already 2 people there to defend it. Lee Sin does pick up a kill onto the Rakan, and the 2 of them are kind of providing a distraction. So in the meantime, we're trying to actually push down the mid lane, get the mid lane tower, but unfortunately the distraction has run out, so they are all rotating over. And here we're trying to kite out the Graves. Graves barely survives. He survives on 1 HP like way too many times in this particular game. And here Mundo has way too insane lifesteal here. Now unfortunately I'm still full health with a GA. So here they're trying to get down the tower. I have the long range of the missile barrage to actually quickly clear out the wave. Here I see the next wave coming in. I'm using all my spells to quickly clear out the wave so that they cannot actually get the mid lane turn. Unfortunately there I barely missed the Lux there. That would have actually killed her if I hit that missile barrage there, because I wasn't actually expecting the bubble to hit. So I thought that she would step a little bit more to the left, and that would have then hit her, but unfortunately for me, the bubble connected, which basically means that my prediction was not going to come true. You know, sometimes there are those times where when the CC connects, it actually harms you instead of helps you, and that is one of those times, so really unfortunate for me. Alright, so now we're going to pick up the package. Why? Because of course we can see the Infernal Dragon is going to spawn in 10 seconds, so as I said, always save the package for the objective. Alright, so here I make another mistake. So here you guys can see Lee Sin tries to pick up the Rakan before the fight starts. I try to follow up with the package, but the package ends up pretty much doing nothing. Does end up zoning the Mundo away for a while, but that is not too significant. It doesn't really have a huge impact. And now without the package, our team is going to be a lot weaker. Now the Zed is actually on the split push, as he has pretty much been doing this entire game. That is good and bad, because it of course does draw pressure to him. But the bad part is that we're pretty much playing 4v5 in the meantime. Now, if we can play this correctly, which is just with me poking and not really committing to a fight, the Zed split push strategy can work. Now, it actually has managed to push off the enemy team from the dragon, so that is a little bit surprising. But now they see us doing it, so now they're all coming in. Rakan goes in with his ult. Surprisingly, I'm untouched at the back. Here I'm just blasting whatever I can. I'm going over the wall so I don't get stuck in the pit. I'm just blasting whatever I can. The Graves does actually end up picking up the dragon. I actually managed to kill the Rakan with that rocket there, I believe. Which is not there, but I ended up killing the Rakan somewhere, because I remember I killed the Rakan here. I'm not sure where that exactly was. Alright, here we go. So here we go over the wall. We kill the Lux, not the Rakan. So we kill the Lux. I do get the GA popped. It's a 2v2, sorry. And here I'm going to go flash over the wall here and stasis to let the Lee Sin finish off the Rakan. Then I'm going to try to kite out the Mundo. Mundo pops his gargoyles. I exhaust him, manage to actually pick up the kill onto him, and the Triumph prop actually saves me from the minions, believe it or not. Alright, then after that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to clear the wave, I'm going to pop the fruit to get back some health, and now here's where I probably make the biggest mistake of the game. Now with the Elder Dragon spawning, with the Baron on the map, I greet for the blue buff in the enemy territory, and the Graves who had just respawned kills me. Now Lee Sin makes the call to go for the Baron. It's not exactly the worst call because the whole enemy team is dead and the Graves is on the wrong side of the map. But the issue here is that he starts it off himself before our team arrives. He should have waited for another 10 seconds for everybody to come. He gets chunked up by the Baron. Zed is also kind of pretty low here. Lux respawns, snipes out the Zed with the help of the Baron, and Graves is here. So now, this is really good defense by kicking the Graves away and using the wave, but it was used too early. So here, Lee Sin smites, probably just a millisecond or so too early, and the Baron ends up having like a wee bit of health, and Graves actually steals it with the smoke screen that does basically no damage, and pretty much his whole team aside from Tristana is revived. So now we have 4 Baron buffs on the enemy team, and this is pretty much the whole chain of events that led to the downward spiral of this game, because I got picked off. That was my mistake. Lee Sin didn't smite properly, and not just Lee Sin, but Lee Sin didn't smite properly, and our team didn't keep the Graves away properly. That was our mistake, and pretty much it all goes horribly wrong. And Lee Sin steals the red buff from me again. He has not been giving me the red buff this whole game, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. So now here Lee Sin is dead, gets sniped up by the Lux, and the Elder Dragon is up. So pretty much we lose this Elder Dragon, we lose the game anyway. So I'm gonna go in, see if the package can steal the Elder Dragon. Now, you'll be surprised at how many times Corki package steals the Elder Dragon, because you jump in the pit with the package, the whole enemy team focus you, and your package ends up killing the dragon. Now, unfortunately for us, that did not happen. So, what actually happened there? I go in and I die. So, that's not really what we're looking for. Now, obviously the enemy team has the Elder Dragon. We only have a Nami and a Zed to defend. Now that isn't quite gonna cut it. The enemy team has Baron, which they just stole. They have the Elder Dragon, which they just got as well. So obviously that's not really gonna bode too well for our chances, and indeed the enemy team does manage to end the game. So I'm not sure if any of you guys were surprised by this defeat. Probably some of you guys, but yeah. Either way, we do end up losing the game. However, despite losing the game, we still do really well. 13, 4, and 7, most damage in the game, etc, etc. You guys can see the stats for yourself. But this game still highlights how strong Corki is and how strong this Corki build in particular is, which is the point I'm really trying to get across, which the result of the game doesn't matter, the point still stands. Anyways, I'll leave you guys with the rest of the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.